Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Today I've got something really cool, interesting to show you. Very artsy, very well done. Before I jump into it, I do want to say thank you to the channel members. Thank you all so much. And thank you to anybody who comes in to watch my knife, my EDC content. It means everything to me. If you're so inclined and you've got the time, if you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon, it really does help me out. So this is a knife that I picked up with my buddy. I was with him when he got it. A to Z EDC. I've asked you guys, if you get a chance, follow him on Instagram. He's got a great collection, shares a lot of knives with me. But we had been at our local knife store, one of them. It's called Knives and More. And we bumped into this maker's knives, Datcher knives. It's actually Datcher design. And it turns out that he had a connection through music, weird story, not even going to go into it, of Gregory Datcher. And so we were able to meet him at my friend A to Z's house and look at some of his knives. Because he is not just a knife maker. He is an absolute artist. I will link his Instagram in this description, and you'll see that he's labeled as a mixed media artist. He does amazing pottery work, amazing, just all types of work, and knife making, sword making, things like that. So this is the Datcher Designs. He calls it the Scout Mount EDC. And the first thing you notice about this knife is it's got a hamon, or a hamon, however you pronounce it, which is basically, this is 1084 blade steel with a convex grind, but a hamon is, or a hamon, however you pronounce it, is basically a demarcation line, I think that's how you pronounce it, where you've got, you put clay or a substance on the blade when you heat treat it, and it gives you a higher HRC down around the cutting area as opposed to the HRC above it. So it's just a really, to me, it's neat. I learned about it when I saw it here because I didn't know exactly what it was, but this beautiful resin handle with these G10 liners. The shape of this knife is aggressive, it's comfortable, it is, I think, very, very sexy looking. A, I love the color. B, I'm a big fan of the shape. I love the poon. I love the swedge on the spine here. You've got this really nice flat poon to park your hand on. You've got this nice thin handle that knots up here at the end, so you've got great, great leverage, whether you're thrusting this knife or just holding on to it to cut. It is a thicker grind, it's a thicker knife, but it is an absolute convex ground laser beam. Very, very stabby, without doubt. And to me, just another extension of knives that I would have never been aware of that are out in our community. This is a local artist, guys. This is in my hometown. And it's just because John, the owner of Knives and More, carries cool stuff like this that I met a guy who makes really cool knives, has a skill set that's far in advance of just knives. I kind of think of Jason Grant in the same way. You know, a tattoo artist who can do probably any mixed media art. And he now makes knives using those same skills. And Gregory's the same way. When you look at his Instagram, don't get thrown off. You've got to do a lot of scrolling to get to knives because he's got knife projects throughout all of his other projects. But they are absolutely amazing, and some of the stuff that he does with his forging is top notch. very kind individual. Let's do a couple of quick size comparisons, just so you guys get an idea of how big this knife is. For me, it's a little bit on the large size of what I EDC, just because you know me, guys, I'm the little knife guy, right? So if we look at this next to some of the regular size EDC knives, like the Spyderco Mule that I showed you guys the other day, it's right around the same size as the Mule. And let's look at it next to another larger knife I've got, my SE3. And it's right around the same size, maybe a little bit smaller than the SE3, right? But when you look at blade stock, and we'll get a couple of dimensions, you've got much thicker stock on the Scout Mount EDC. And again, the blade steel on this is, I think it was 1084 with Hamon, or however you pronounce that. And then Gregory makes leather sheaths, or has them made here locally. Get this out of the way. And then we'll get the tape measure, and we will see what we got, what we're working with. So overall, we've got an 8-inch knife with a 3 3/4-inch blade, 3.5-inch cutting area, very nice sharpening choil, an inside grip of 3 3/4. So from right here to right here, you've got 3 3/4. To me, it's a very comfortable grip. No jimping on the spine, but no jimping is needed because it's so clean, and you've got that poon or that harpoon to rest on. If we go to look at this in terms of how thick we are, let's go back here at the blade thickness, and we will see that it is 0.1730, 0.1735, and then our cutting edge is going to come in right around 0.0170. And the handle is very comfortable, it's contoured, and it's at its widest point, 0.7910, which I think is, for a knife like this, it feels perfect, it feels good, it feels solid. It is, like I say, a solid feeling tool. A little on the larger side of what I would carry on the daily, but a great knife nonetheless. It weighs in at 5.15 ounces, and its carry weight with its leather sheath is 7.55 ounces. So I've carried it on my belt. You don't really feel it. I carried it on the back of my belt. It just rides kind of in the center. Great knife. I look at it as a very functional tool, but to me, knowing Gregory and looking at the rest of his work and looking at some of his other knives, I look at it, and I think A to Z does too, as kind of a nice art piece. Not a knife to beat up in the backyard, even though it would probably hold up to a lot of that. It's just more of a beautiful, cool, one-of-a-kind piece. You could get the design again, but anything that's handmade, in my opinion, it's kind of a one and done, right? Because you can only make it one time. But guys, Datcher knives, Datcher Design is going to be the Instagram that I'm going to link for you. I'm going to try to have him join me as a guest on Friday Night Flicks one Friday to talk to you guys, introduce him to the community, and just see what's going on out there in the knife making world. I'm fascinated by it. Guys, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. If you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you'd like. But please, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.